Wayne went to Instagram to let people know who he thought who was the greatest rapper of all time. He said Jay-Z. Let's talk about it a little bit. Haven't had a GOAT discussion in quite some time. We did the top 5 rappers like 2 years ago, but let's speak on it. Goodfellas Sports TV. Appreciate everybody for supporting the chat page. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Won't miss another video. Check out our music entertainment playlist and our hip hop 101 playlist where we talk about, current events in hip hop live. So I ain't did one in a minute. I'm gonna bounce it back real quick. Hopefully this week and next week we're gonna get to it real soon. But yep, I'll link an article in the description. Lil Wayne said Jay-Z the GOAT. And a lot of the stuff, when people refer to Jay-Z being the GOAT of rap, has to do with his longevity and the contributions he made to hip hop in general. And you got to remember, he the same guy that helped 21 Savage beat his case, helped Meek Mill pay his legal fees, did the Khalif Browder documentary. Man, if you haven't seen that, that's powerful, man. Also helped Lil Wayne in his problems, and same guy that Prince turned to I think to handle his unreleased music. You know what I'm saying? Prince looked at him. I think he did an interview with Don Lemon or somebody from CNN a couple years ago. He said Prince told him that he looked at Jay-Z as the guy that actually beat the music system. Now, yeah, since it turned over, but James Brown, Sam Cooke, Ray Charles, a lot of them dudes had a lot of money and owned their own masters and took control. But along the way, a lot of people lost that. New Edition got played, TLC got played on the money, and so many other rappers got played on the bread. So, part of Jay-Z not getting on the record labels dissing him wasn't that he wasn't a dope rapper. They tried to make it seem like he was boring, he was lame, whatever. But the whole thing with Jay was that Jay was smart. Him and Dame Dash wanted to own masters. They wanted to, they didn't, publishing. They wanted to own their name and stuff of that nature. They were smart, so the record labels couldn't really hold them. Meanwhile, Biggie and Pac were making music, and by the time they was established, Jay-Z really couldn't pry his way in there because, he just wasn't on that level. Nas did, because Nas came out with a classic and is considered to be the greatest album, one of the greatest albums of all time, Illmatic. And a lot of people say, oh man, how's Illmatic great? But in his time, it was dope, and rap ain't just about going to the club and twerking and getting chicks. That ain't what rap about. Rap has always been an outlet to express our POE, us being a product of our environment. It doesn't necessarily have to, get people dancing and moving. And Rakim said MC move the crowd. That album, was just dope. Like Reasonable Doubt, it made you think, it gave you game. And this game that's still relevant 20, 30 years later, you see what I'm saying? It will be relevant to the end of time because the game don't change on these players in it. But at one point, Lil Wayne was going around saying that he was the greatest rapper alive and he was better than Jay, and they went back and forth. Along the way, he ended up getting played like everybody else in Hot Boys, getting played by Birdman, and all of a sudden Birdman had an epiphany, and now he wanna make good with everybody in the group. Now he paid Juvie. Juvie said they gave him his bread. They had to force him to give Lil Wayne his bread, and pretty much he seen that he couldn't maintain. Drake contract was up, Tiger was suing him, so Nicki Minaj went high. It was falling apart, so he had to go make amends with guys that really built Cash Money up, and that was Juvie and BG. And they were serving BG drugs, and instead of paying his money, he in jail. So, it is what it is. So, Lil Wayne went through that stuff, and despite him and Jay-Z going bar for bar and going word for word sometimes, and they go have their little competitive nature, Jay-Z put that aside and still helped him with his situation. So Lil Wayne identifies Jay-Z in and outside the booth as probably the greatest of all time. And what he's done, he's been doing some great activism stuff. But in my opinion, it wasn't stuff that, it wasn't as big as what Pac did outside the booth. Pac was huge. They looked at Pac as a prophet, and at the end of the day, Pac and Big always be my two best. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z cool, and I like Jay-Z music, and Jay-Z got a lot of gems in it, but the real genuine bars from Biggie, I think, is really second to none when you talk about putting commercial rap with bars and lyrics. To me, I don't care about the Grammys, the Billboard, or Music Award, all that shit for the birds. You know what I'm saying? Biggie was like lyrically just bananas, man. And Pac, his energy, his delivery. People say, oh, he wasn't the most lyrical, but Pac, you felt every bar Pac had. Pac had some of the greatest versatility in the game. He can go from Dear Mama to nigga, I'm about to ride on your ass, shed so many tears, to California Love, to Hearts of Men. you know what I'm saying? You know, to me, I lived in those times, you know what I'm saying? And I know what it felt. And I remember Jay-Z couldn't even get a knock-knock joke when Biggie and Pac was alive, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, people going to forget what they done in the 90s and say, well, Jay-Z done so much from now and then. It's cool, and I definitely agree, but it's a ton of people who don't like Jay-Z. It's a ton of people who don't like his music. It's a ton of people who don't like his style. I like his style, good rapper, but to me, you know, lost the battle to Nas. You know, some people say he got killed on Renegade to M. He had a good battle with Cameron and Dipset and them. And he a good rapper. You know what I'm saying? But for me, he ain't the GOAT. And who you ask is about a generation. You know, if you ask this generation, they might say Lil Xan, Lil Pump, Lil God, I don't know, Kendrick or whatever. But you know, you ask people back in the 80s, the 90s, you hear, you know, people say, you know, Kool G Rap, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, you know, and a lot of guys couldn't really fathom. So you might get some KRS-One in there. You might get somebody that say Kool Mo D somewhere in there. You might get somebody, you get a lot of different answers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of different answers you're going to get in there. And what made the 90s so special is it was so competitive from all 30,000 members of Wu. You had UGK grinding on underground tip, but then also you had Outkast that squeezed in there with some dope shit. When it was a time that the South couldn't even get in there, Outkast was out front and center and was killing shit with Southern Player, Listed, Cadillac, Funk, and music. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Tribe, then you had Dice Effects on the low-key tip. You had Cube doing this thing. Nas then popped up. You had Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Gangstar, Guru. I mean, shit, you had a lot of different dudes that, and at the end, you had DMX that slid in at the end. Dre came back in the end. Dog Pound, Snoop. I mean, shit, you had a lot of acts. It was hard. It was hard to squeeze up in there and be the greatest of all time, or just be the best in the time. A lot of guys wouldn't even have they got no radio play, but now it's a little bit different, and now Jay-Z really didn't padded his record up. But, you know, when you talk to real people from the 90s and real guys that listen to the 80s and 90s rap, a lot of guys wouldn't even put Jay-Z in their top 10. You know what I'm saying? Because rap meant something different. We just talk about bar for bar. Yeah, Jay was nice. You know what I'm saying? Super nice. But, you know, when Pac and Biggie was there, you know, nobody listened to Reasonable Doubt till they had passed away. And people say, oh, this album not so bad. You know what I'm saying? It was a really good classic. It had like a late reaction. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you hit somebody and then 5 seconds later, then they fall to the ground and act like they hurt. But, you know, that's Lil Wayne's opinion. You know what I'm saying? Saying that, I think it's some humble pie right there from him. But by no means necessary is he even close to being my GOAT, Lil Wayne. Okay, I got Jay-Z like at 3 or 4 on my list. You know what I'm saying? But that's my opinion. You know, I heard a little bit more rap than niggas that was born in 96, 95, 94, 2000. You know, a lot of those, I heard a lot of different more rap, but then I go back to the 80s as well, too. Back to Run, back to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, and listen to KRS, Lug Gonna Get You, Kool G Rap. You know, I go a little bit quick, Safe and Sound, NWA, the Wrecking Crew. So I go a little bit further back. You know, I'm a student of the game, so I understand. But, you know, like I said before, Jay-Z done a lot. He still, you know, he able to jump eras, and the only guy I really know that was able to jump eras like that was LL 80s. Struggled a little bit in the 90s, caught his balance in the 90s, and then kind of went in the early 2000s, still was able to make rap. Most people just good for a certain amount of time. When you can put 3, 4, 5, 6 albums together, you know, you deserve to get up there. And then Jay-Z music don't age like Eminem. Eminem music age like bananas. Jay-Z shit, man, you still can bump Reasonable Doubt like it dropped yesterday. You still can Black Blueprint 1. You know, Blueprint 2 wasn't that hot to me. But the Black album, American Gangster, so he put together a strong case. I'm not going to sit here and argue and, you know, going to argue like they did back in the day and somebody got shot over saying Craig Mack and Biggie, who was better in New York. You're not going to go like that. But like I said before, you know, Lil Wayne ain't in that conversation. You know, he just never talked about nothing of substance. At least Jay-Z gave game that you can, you know, apply to life, or you can go back and say, damn, he was right about that. Lil Wayne music had no substance after the Carter 2, you know, so he ain't nowhere in my, you know, he ain't even Kool G Rap, Rakim, you know, M, DMX, T.I., Jeezy. I take a lot of them dudes over here, but that's my personal opinion. Goodfellas Sports TV. Don't forget the name. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to the email if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, or video request. Appreciate the love and support. Keep sharing the videos. It's your boy CJ Goodfellas Sports TV. One time for the one time. Best way you can help the channel, just share the videos. We gone.